Hey there, friends. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss powerful health secrets designed especially for people 50 and over. All right, now let me ask you something. What if I told you that the food you thought was healthy and healing might actually be holding you back from building muscle, and that skipping this one trendy superfood could help you fight aging muscles faster? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover why bone broth may not be the muscle savior it's claimed to be, and what really works instead. You know, most people think aging begins on the outside, a few wrinkles, thinner hair, maybe a little extra around the waist. But real aging often starts where we can't see it, in our muscles. They're the engines that carry us through life, yet they quietly shrink and weaken long before we notice. That hidden process has a name, sarcopenia, and it is one of the most underestimated changes of getting older. Sarcopenia begins silently. Somewhere after 40, the body slowly loses muscle fibers. By 60, that decline can double or even triple in speed. At first, you might just feel a bit slower climbing stairs. Then the grocery bags feel heavier, the chair lower, the garden tools a little harder to lift. You might laugh it off and say, "I'm just not as young as I used to be." But deep down, it's not just age. It's biology shifting gears. Muscle tissue is more than strength. It's your body's metabolic power plant. It keeps blood sugar in balance, supports bones, and protects you when you fall. It even helps regulate hormones and immunity. When muscle disappears, everything from energy to mood can drop with it. You might still look fine on the outside, but inside the foundation grows weaker. Doctors now understand that losing muscle doesn't just affect how you move. It affects how you live. People with strong muscles live longer, heal faster, and stay independent. Those with weak muscles face more fatigue, more joint pain, and slower recovery after illness. That's why sarcopenia has been called a silent epidemic. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't announce itself, but it quietly steals vitality year after year. The science behind it is simple yet powerful. As we age, the body becomes less sensitive to the signals that normally trigger muscle growth. Even when we eat protein, the muscle-building switch, called the mTOR pathway, doesn't respond as strongly as it used to. It's as if the body needs a louder voice to say, "Build muscle now." Without enough of the right nutrients, especially the amino acid leucine, that signal never gets through. And without movement, muscles get the message that they're no longer needed. But here's the hopeful part. This process is not inevitable. Muscle loss can be slowed, stopped, and even reversed. The body never loses its ability to adapt. It simply waits for the right conditions. Give it the right protein, give it resistance to work against, and it will respond. I've seen 70-year-olds double their strength in a few months just by adding the right food and simple daily exercise. So when we talk about sarcopenia, we're not talking about a hopeless disease. We're talking about a natural process that can be managed intelligently. The key is awareness. You can't fight what you don't recognize. And once you do, every meal, every walk, every stretch becomes an opportunity to rebuild what time tries to take away. In the next chapters, we'll uncover why a certain popular superfood, bone broth, may not be the muscle miracle it's claimed to be, and what your muscles are actually waiting for instead. Stay with me. This might just change how you think about strength and aging. Let's be honest, bone broth sounds almost magical, doesn't it? A warm, golden liquid made from real bones, simmered for hours, full of ancient wisdom and healing energy. It feels like something your grandmother would have sworn by. A cure for the common cold, a comfort on tired days, a symbol of home and care. So when modern health trends brought it back, millions of people thought, "This must be the secret my body needs." And honestly, it's easy to see why. The idea fits perfectly with what we've always believed about natural food. No chemicals, no powders, no complicated formulas, just bones, water, and time. The wellness world quickly crowned bone broth the liquid gold of nutrition. It was everywhere, in magazines, health podcasts, celebrity diets, and social media posts. People were drinking it in the morning instead of coffee, sipping it at night instead of tea. Some called it a miracle for joints, others a fountain of youth for skin, and many believed it could rebuild muscle too. But here's the truth, and it may surprise you. Much of the reputation around bone broth didn't come from solid science. It came from stories, nostalgia, and marketing. Companies realized that the phrase "made from real bones" sounded trustworthy, old-fashioned, and safe. And because it's rich in collagen, many assumed it would naturally rebuild tissues throughout the body, including muscles. Now, collagen is a real and useful protein, but not in the way people think. It supports skin elasticity and joint health because it contains amino acids like glycine and proline. However, those same amino acids are not the ones responsible for building or maintaining muscle mass. In other words, collagen helps hold things together. It doesn't help them grow stronger. Still, the story spread. Health coaches and bloggers began claiming that bone broth was muscle food. Even fitness enthusiasts jumped on board, recommending it as a post-workout recovery drink. It felt comforting, it was natural, and it tasted like something wholesome. The problem is, comfort and effectiveness aren't always the same thing. When scientists actually measured the amino acid content of bone broth, the results were eye-opening. They found that while it contained trace minerals and gelatin, it was very low in leucine, the key amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis. Leucine is the spark that tells your body, it's time to build new muscle fibers. Without it, your body simply can't respond to exercise or protein intake in the same way. So while bone broth may make your joints feel smoother and your skin a little plumper, it doesn't wake up your muscles. It's missing the essential building blocks that signal growth. It's like planting a seed without water. The potential is there, but nothing happens. Still, the myth persisted because bone broth feels right. It's gentle, soothing, easy to digest, and fits the comforting image of wellness. And for people over 50, especially those who struggle with heavy meals, it seems like the perfect compromise. Nourishing, but light. That emotional comfort made it even harder to question whether it truly works. But here's the good news. Once you understand what bone broth actually does and what it doesn't, you can still enjoy it without relying on it as a muscle booster. It can absolutely be part of a healthy diet, just not the main weapon against sarcopenia. Because when it comes to keeping your muscles alive and active, your body needs something more, something bone broth simply can't provide. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look inside this so-called superfood and see what's really hiding beneath the surface of that warm, golden cup. And once you understand its true composition, you'll see why your muscles deserve a little more than just comfort. Picture this, a pot slowly simmering on the stove, the kitchen filled with that rich, savory aroma. Bones, water, a bit of vinegar, maybe some herbs. It feels ancient, healing, almost medicinal. And after many hours, what you get is a warm, golden liquid, bone broth. People often look at it and think, this must be full of strength. But what's actually inside that cup? Let's take a closer look. Bone broth is made mostly of water, with small amounts of minerals like calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium that leach from the bones. When collagen and connective tissue dissolve during cooking, they create gelatin, which gives the broth its silky texture. This gelatin is made of amino acids, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, the same ones that make up collagen. That's why people drink bone broth hoping to rebuild their joints, skin, and muscles. But here's where science brings us back down to earth. Collagen isn't what your muscles need most. It's a structural protein, not a functional one. It helps form connective tissues like tendons, ligaments, and skin, but it's incomplete. Incomplete means it lacks several essential amino acids, the ones your body can't make on its own. And the most important of those missing amino acids is leucine. Leucine is a star player in the process called muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as the on switch that tells your cells, hey, start building muscle now. Without enough leucine, even if you eat other amino acids, your body doesn't get the signal to grow or repair muscle tissue. And here's the key detail. Bone broth has almost no leucine. It has less than 1/10 of the leucine found in chicken, fish, or eggs. So while bone broth may feel comforting, your muscles don't get the message they need. It's like sending an email without pressing send. You've prepared something nice, but the signal never reaches its destination. This doesn't mean bone broth is useless, not at all. It can still support your body in gentle ways. Those amino acids like glycine and proline help your gut lining, calm inflammation, and even support joint flexibility. They're soothing, restorative, and perfect for people with digestive issues or recovering from illness. But expecting bone broth to rebuild muscle mass is like expecting a candle to light up a whole stadium. It's just not designed for that. Another myth is that bone broth is rich in minerals. In reality, even after 10 or 12 hours of simmering, the mineral content is surprisingly low. Studies have shown that the calcium and magnesium levels are far below what you'd get from a glass of milk or a handful of almonds. So while bone broth tastes rich, it's nutritionally light. Now, does that mean you should stop drinking it? Absolutely not. If you love it, keep it. Just know what it's doing for you. It's not feeding your muscles, but it might be feeding your comfort, your joints, and your digestive health. The problem only arises when people treat it as a substitute for real protein. That's when muscle loss quietly continues, even though you feel like you're doing everything right. Your body needs complete proteins, foods that contain all the essential amino acids in balance. Chicken, fish, eggs, yogurt, legumes, those are your true builders. When you combine them with movement, your muscles have the materials and the motivation to grow. So next time you pour yourself a mug of bone broth, enjoy it. But don't confuse comfort with construction. Your muscles are waiting for a different kind of message, one that bone broth alone can't deliver. In the next chapter, we'll uncover what actually works. The foods that switch your muscle-building system back on and keep it running strong, even after 50. Let's imagine your muscles as a construction site. Every single day, thousands of tiny builders, your muscle cells, are working to repair, replace, and strengthen tissue. But like any construction team, they can't build without the right materials. And if they don't get what they need, the building, your strength, slowly falls apart. So what are these materials? They're complete proteins, foods that contain all the essential amino acids your body can't produce on its own. This includes lean meat, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and even plant-based proteins like soy or quinoa. These foods contain leucine, the special amino acid that acts like the green light for your muscles to grow. Here's something most people don't realize. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein. It's not that the protein stops working. It's that our cells need a louder signal. In younger people, a small serving of protein can trigger muscle growth easily. But after 50, the same serving might not be enough. Your body needs more leucine to wake up that muscle-building pathway, known as mTOR. Without enough leucine, even the best workout or diet won't make much difference. That's why older adults often need around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, not just once a day, but consistently. It may sound like a lot, but it's very doable. 2 eggs with cottage cheese for breakfast, a portion of chicken or fish for lunch, and maybe yogurt or a protein shake in the evening. It's not about eating more overall. It's about eating smarter. And here's the beautiful part. Muscles respond to effort at any age. Even small changes matter. A bit of walking, light resistance bands, or lifting a couple of water bottles can reactivate your muscle fibers. When you move, your muscles become hungry for protein, and that's when they absorb it best. Movement and nutrition work together like partners. One gives the signal, the other provides the material. Now, some people worry that eating more protein might harm their kidneys or make digestion harder. But studies show that for healthy adults, moderate increases in protein are perfectly safe and often life-changing. They help stabilize blood sugar, maintain a healthy weight, and reduce the risk of falls and frailty. For people over 50, protein isn't just about building muscle. It's about preserving independence. If bone broth is a gentle hug, think of real protein as a firm handshake, supportive, reliable, effective. When you replace that cup of broth with a proper serving of protein-rich food, your body notices almost immediately. You'll feel stronger climbing stairs, steadier on your feet, more energetic throughout the day. That's your muscles thanking you for giving them what they've been waiting for. Of course, this isn't about extremes. No one needs to live on steak and eggs alone. You can build a balanced plate, vegetables for fiber, whole grains for energy, and protein as the foundation. Add a sprinkle of healthy fats, olive oil, nuts, avocado, and you have a perfect anti-sarcopenia meal. So if you love bone broth, enjoy it. Just don't let it take the place of the foods that actually feed your strength. Your muscles don't need magic. They need building blocks, and they respond to them beautifully no matter your age. In the next chapter, we'll look at something that surprises many people: how certain healthy habits can secretly slow your progress, and how to adjust them without giving up the comfort and routines you enjoy. Many people after 50 take pride in their healthy habits. They eat lighter, cut out heavy meat, switch to soups and oatmeal, and focus on digestion. It feels like the smart thing to do, and in many ways, it is. Lighter meals are easier on the stomach, easier to prepare, and often more comfortable for people who've spent a lifetime eating on the go. But here's the problem. Sometimes these very healthy habits can quietly work against your muscles. I see this often in my patients. They come in saying, "Doctor, I eat clean, soups, porridge, vegetables, a bit of fruit, but I keep losing strength." And when we look closer, the reason becomes clear. They're not getting enough protein. Their meals are soft and gentle, but almost empty of the amino acids their muscles need to survive. When you rely mostly on broths, grains, and fruit, your body starts running on carbohydrates instead of rebuilding tissue. You feel full, but your muscles are quietly starving. That's why you might start feeling weaker, even though your diet seems healthy. The truth is, good nutrition after 50 isn't about eating less, it's about eating right. Here's a simple example. A bowl of vegetable soup might warm you up and make you feel good. But it has almost no leucine, no complete protein. Add just a boiled egg or a spoon of Greek yogurt on the side, and suddenly that meal becomes muscle-friendly. Small adjustments like that make a huge difference. Another common habit is avoiding solid foods because they're harder to chew or not as gentle. But chewing itself is important for your body. It keeps facial muscles strong, stimulates digestion, and even activates parts of the brain related to memory and alertness. When people switch completely to soft foods, they lose not only muscle in the body, but also in the face and neck. And yes, that affects how youthful you look and feel. Then there's the fear of too much protein. Many people worry that eating more protein will harm their kidneys or cause other problems. But if your kidneys are healthy, moderate increases in protein are not only safe, they're beneficial. They help maintain weight, balance hormones, and keep blood sugar steady. The danger lies not in too much protein, but in too little. You see, the body doesn't store protein like it stores fat. That means you have to supply it regularly, at every meal, every day. Skipping protein just for today might not seem like a big deal, but over months and years, it adds up. And by the time you notice weakness, your muscles have already paid the price. There's also a psychological trap. We often associate light food with discipline and health, and protein food with indulgence. But that's outdated thinking. Protein is not indulgent, it's essential. You can absolutely eat clean and still nourish your muscles. A grilled piece of fish, a bit of yogurt, or lentils with rice. These are not heavy foods, they're healing foods. So if you've been eating very light for a long time, it's okay. You've been doing your best. Now it's just time for a small shift. Add a source of protein to each meal. If you like soups, keep them, but stir in some shredded chicken or tofu. If you enjoy oatmeal, mix in a scoop of whey or soy protein. Tiny changes, consistent over time, can completely transform how you feel and move. Healthy habits are wonderful, but they should evolve with you. What worked at 30 may not work at 60. Your body's needs change, and listening to those changes is the real secret to graceful aging. You don't have to give up comfort. You just have to give your muscles a seat at the table. In the next chapter, we'll talk about balance, how to protect and rebuild your strength without extremes, using simple, realistic habits you can enjoy every day. You don't have to turn your life upside down to protect your muscles. You don't need a strict diet, expensive supplements, or hours in the gym. In fact, extreme changes often backfire. They cause stress, frustration, and rarely last. The truth is, preserving muscle strength after 50 is about balance. Small, steady steps that fit your life and feel natural. Let's start with food, because that's your foundation. You've already learned that bone broth alone isn't enough, but it can still play a role. Think of it as comfort, not construction. Use it as a base, a warm, soothing starter. Then pair it with something that actually feeds your muscles. For example, enjoy your broth with an omelet or a small piece of fish. Add lentils, beans, or tofu cubes right into the soup. That simple combination turns a light snack into a muscle-friendly meal. Next, let's talk about movement. The word exercise can sound intimidating, but movement doesn't have to mean running marathons. It can be as simple as walking a little faster than usual, climbing stairs, or using resistance bands a few minutes a day. Muscles don't care where you train them. They just need a reason to stay active. And when they move, they signal your body to keep them alive. You can think of it like this. Food gives your muscles the bricks. Movement tells them where to build. Both are necessary, and together they create strength that lasts. Now, another important piece of the puzzle, vitamins. After 50, your body often needs extra vitamin D, which supports both bone and muscle function. It also helps absorb calcium, keeping your skeleton strong. Vitamin B12 supports your nerves and energy levels, making it easier to stay active. You don't need a dozen pills, just regular checkups and supplements if your doctor recommends them. And don't forget about sleep. This might surprise you, but most muscle repair happens at night. When you sleep deeply, your body releases growth hormones that rebuild tissue and balance metabolism. If you cut your sleep short, your body never gets to finish that repair work. So, protecting your muscles also means protecting your rest. Here's something else I tell my patients. Don't underestimate joy. When you enjoy what you eat and how you move, your body responds better. Stress hormones go down, digestion improves, energy rises. So choose foods and activities you like. If you enjoy gardening, that's movement. If you love cooking, make it a mindful ritual. Even laughter strengthens the core muscles and improves breathing. So no, you don't need extremes. You don't need to stop drinking bone broth or start lifting heavy weights tomorrow. You just need small, consistent actions that signal to your body, I still need these muscles. A balanced meal, a 10-minute walk, a stretch before bed. They may seem small, but over time they rebuild strength and confidence. Think of it as maintenance for your most valuable machinery, your body. You wouldn't let your car run for decades without oil changes or checkups, right? Your muscles deserve the same gentle care. Feed them, move them, let them rest, and they'll serve you faithfully for years to come. In the final chapter, we'll put everything together and reveal the true takeaway. Why skipping bone broth isn't rejection of tradition, but a smarter, more modern way to stay strong and independent at any age.